Hello, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hello, hello. Are you taking a break from homeschooling? Are you taking a break from work? I'm on the first vacation I've been on in a long time. I've been hustling nonstop for I don't know how long, and I am on vacation and I'm at home in my purple room at my parents' house, and I'm sipping on water through my unicorn cup. Life is good. So today I was talking with someone, and I was telling a story about we're talking about speech patterns and how we change, how it's important to change speech patterns, be aware of our conditionings. And I was telling a story that I want to share with you because it's something that I realized about myself long ago and started working on it. And it's one of the ways that I was able to move past being susceptible to manipulators and vampires in my life. For those of you who don't know, I went through like basically vampire university. There's a period of my life, a section of my life where it was just like vampires, manipulators, super powerfully manipulative people just seemed to be looking for me. And just didn't at that time in my life have the skills that I have now in order to deal with that. So this video, I'm gonna try to make it compact and short, is about how manipulators got me and what I did about it. One of the ways, there was a few different ways, and that is I grew up with this sort of conditioning of thinking of this or that, tit for tat, eye for an eye, right? Looking for something sort of equaling something else, or in possibilities, thinking of like either it can be either this or it can be either that. And how I got to that place, I don't know. Like, I don't care really how I got there. What's important is that I needed to, at that time in my life, I was dealing with a very, one of the most intelligent, brilliant, just innovative, manipulative, vampiric, narcissistic person. And at that time, I was still, I don't even know that I had the vocabulary that I have now about vampires, manipulators, narcissism, all of that. I didn't even have that vocabulary, but I knew that I had known for a long time that it was time to get out of this relationship, and that I needed to do something about it. But for some reason, like, I just psychologically was still hooked. You know what I'm saying? I still kept coming back for some reason. And at that time, I was noticing in my own speech patterns that I had this limit, and that limit was this or that. So, like, for example, within this is what we were talking about earlier. Like, if I went to a child, like a child takes a cookie, and I'd be like, why did you take that cookie without asking? Is it because you really think it's important for you to have the cookie, or is it because you were, you didn't think I was looking, right? Whatever I'm saying, I'm giving them two choices only, as if that's the only options, as if in this world we only always have two options. And this is the thing, and how people sell things and how we talk to. I was starting to notice this everywhere, where there were just two choices, right? This is what we might call the binary. There's just two choices, where those two choices might not even come close to reflecting what is actually going on for that person, or why somebody did this. And so during that time, when I was so close in with this person who was a brilliant manipulator, a very powerful vampire in my life, somebody who I was definitely experiencing like some brainwashing in that relationship, I started noticing very clearly that one of the ways that they were able to manipulate me so easily was because if they had a problem, or if they felt like it was time to like put a deeper hook in, or if they felt like it was time to pick a fight, because that was one of the things they always did, was always like pick and fight. Everything had to be a fight. when they're ready to pick a fight, they had to start the fight with me being confused and on bottom, right? Like the point is for that person to always win, right? Somebody who is practicing narcissism, they need to win, okay? And so I noticed like when they were picking fights with me, they would tell me what I would do or why I would say things, and they would say, well, you did it because of this. And I'd have nothing to do with the reason I might have done something or said something. Or they'd say, well, you said this to me because either you're scared of what my answer would be, or um, or you just weren't thinking straight. When neither of those things were the reason why I said the thing that I said, right? And so I noticed this happening a lot with this person. And I was like, and I went through this phase where I was like, I realized I started saying to him, you know, if you want to know the reason why I said that, all you have to do is ask. And let me tell you something. That would piss him off because it put us in a position where he couldn't manipulate what I was thinking. He couldn't, and it was a change in how I was looking at the world, because I had started to notice that I myself tend to think in this or that. That was his way of finding how to put the hook in. Oh, she thinks in this or that. So as long as I give her two choices that fit my agenda, and she feels like she's programmed to pick this or that. So if I give her my agenda in this or that, then she's hooked. And I was hooked. So as soon as I started noticing this and changing that in myself, and I still work on this now, right? All the infinite options, just like a child when they get into the elevator and they push all the buttons. Child doesn't get in and push like 2 buttons. When they're first learning that they can reach those buttons, they want to push all the buttons, right? Once I finally noticed that about myself and started realizing like, oh, I don't want to speak that way anymore, and start reprogramming my brain to say, why did you take that cookie? Tell me. There's, I think it might be because of this, but it might not be. Tell me. When I started thinking that way, I was not able to be manipulated with that type of thinking anymore. Because I'll tell you, before I started working on it, it really was, if somebody gave me a this or that and none of them reflected how I was thinking or why I did something, I would still pick one of the options. And it would be like, I'd be picking the option that I think is kind of like what I'd like start to convince myself. There's the brainwashing. I start to convince myself that the options they're giving me, which has really nothing to do with the reason that I did something, I'd start to convince myself that, oh, I guess I have to fit myself into this box. So yeah, I'll go with that. I stopped doing that. And he was not able to manipulate me in that way anymore. So that's all I wanted to share with you today is this idea of how we program ourselves, of how we program our own brains to think and interact, and how we can easily get, if we're not aware, and if we're not creating high standards and good boundaries around our energy and how people get close to us and how we're using our own words, that we can get hijacked and we can get manipulated. And I'm happy to say that even though I still notice those patterns in my speech sometimes, I've not been able to be hijacked in that way in a very long time. Here's something that you can say. I already said it, but I'll say it again. Here's something you can say if you're challenged by this type of, like, I think this is what they're calling binary thinking, right? But here's something you can say when you're challenged with someone or system or something that's like, you need to pick from these two options that don't represent you. Or if somebody's coming at you and they're like, you either did it because of this or you either did it for that reason, or just giving you one option, you did it because of this or you said it because of this. One of the most powerful questions that I ask that derail that type of energy, that's a manipulative energy, whether the person means to be that way or not, is saying, hey, if you want to know why I said this thing, if you want to know why I did this thing, all you have to do is ask. And it puts them in a position where they have to ask, rather than giving you your two options that they think is part of the story, which is not. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you. I love you all. You know who I am, Alexandra Loves. I'm here to help you create the life you want by being who you are. I work with people on this. Check me out at alexandraloves.com. Sessions are open for the end of October and November. And yeah, have a great week. If you're on vacation with me, I love you. Let's do vacation together. Let me know how you like this video in the comments. Give me the heart. Say hello. Mwah, 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 mwah. Okay, bye-bye.